Hello there, fellow home cooks, and welcome back to Solane Kitchen Moments. Dito mas sumasarap ang ating usapan about food, travel, and life. Now, in the previous episode, we talked to our special guest about his agribusiness. And for today, we're going to be talking about his life here in the Philippines. Welcome back on the show, Mr. Nico Bolzico.
Thank you so much. You really reassured me, inviting me to the second episode.
Part 2, that means we really like you on the show. So thank you so much for coming back here. Now, I'm curious to know, how did you come to visit the Philippines in the first place?
I came here because of work. I was working for a company that does country reports. So normally what I do, I'm sent to different countries for 6 to 8 months. So before the Philippines, I live in 7 countries in Africa, in 2 countries in the Middle East, in the Caribbean, in Europe, in Eastern Europe. I was assigned to Southeast Asia, and I was assigned to the Philippines.
Right.
So I came, I did my project here, and I met Solane. But before I met Solane, there is a really like a line there that I saw a potential to do business with agriculture, because that's what we do in Argentina.
Right.
Because I was ready to quit. It was already too many years traveling, having no postal code, no address.
Yes.
So I was looking for a business opportunity.
Yeah.
And we do agriculture at home, right? We're farmers.
Right.
And I saw the opportunity there, but it was because of Solane that I said, okay, I'm gonna pursue this.
Oh, wow. And I wanted to ask, with all the other countries that you were stationed at, was it just the Philippines that you first thought, maybe I can start a business here?
Well, before the Philippines, I was in Israel. So I like Israel a lot. I was also considering Israel. Before Israel, I was in Mozambique. That I also fell in love with Mozambique also.
What was your first impression with the Philippines? Were there any standout moments when you realized, oh wow, this could work?
When I just came to the Philippines, at the beginning, I was, going out, getting to know everything. It was amazing. Like, I think every foreigner that comes here the first month goes out everywhere. You love it. And then they take me to Palawan, and I was like, what is this? It's paradise. It's like
beautiful.
It's shockingly beautiful.
Now, you mentioned that you did a lot of traveling for work. Aside from traveling for work, were you an avid traveler otherwise?
Actually, I took the job before coming to the Philippines because of the traveling. I always thought that the way to expand the way you think and the way to get to understand the world is to get to understand cultures, people, and to travel as much as possible. So every time I have an opportunity to travel, I travel. And even when I was sent to a country, every weekend I would go somewhere else to visit.
Now, when you were traveling and you were saying that you wanted to settle already somewhere because you were tired of traveling, you didn't say going back to Argentina.
No, Argentina was never an option. So in Argentina, all Argentinians always criticize the country a lot. So every Argentinian will tell you, there's no future in Argentina. Get out if you can. That's when you see the love of your mother is she loved me so much. I'm her favorite for sure, for sure. I'm the youngest, and she loved me so much, and she wanted me to stay as much as possible with her. But at the same time, she wanted me to get out and do stuff.
Now we're talking about you staying here finally in the Philippines. You found Solane, the love of your beautiful girl. Everybody loves Solane, and you guys marry together, and you guys make such an awesome couple. Now, what are the things that you enjoy doing together here in the Philippines? Like local travel, maybe your best places together.
Traveling in the Philippines, we love it. Like whenever we could, we did it. I think we were everywhere in the Philippines.
So you guys do road trips as well?
Yeah, we do a lot of road trips. Now with Tilan, it's limited to 2 hours. Because Tilan, patient in that chair, and she has to stay in the chair, right, for safety.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it can become very, very, very stressful.
Okay, now another thing that if you guys miss spending time together and you've managed to do that, another thing might be you missing your family in Argentina. So what is an Argentinian dish? I know that there's a lot of very good ones that you would like to bring here to the Philippines and maybe, to introduce us a bit more to your kind of cooking.
So Argentina is not as diverse as the Philippines. The Philippines have 1,000 local dishes that are all very good and different ingredients, different way to cook and all that. Argentinians eat beef twice a day, most of the Argentinians. And then we have a strong Italian influence because 50% of the immigration in Argentina came from Italy. And then with them, they bring all the Italian custom, right? So pasta is very common. Pizzas are very common. In Argentina, when you say pasta, it's assumed that it's
automatic Bolognese.
Yes, because it's like if it's no beef, there's not a dish.
Bolognese is the one with the ground beef, right?
Correct. But today I'm gonna prepare a different way.
Wow, I'm excited. What do you call this dish?
Bolzico Bolognese.
Oh, there you go. Bolzico Bolognese.
Or Bolognese Bolzico. You can call it whatever you want. It can be BBB. Bolzico Beef Bolognese. Or Bolognese Bolzico Beef. But Bolzico Bolognese works.
Okay, that sounds good to me. And that sounds good because Nico's gonna cook that for us in our kitchen. Let's go. right, we're here now in the kitchen where Nico is going to teach us the Bolzico Bolognese.
Yes.
Why is this different and why is this extra special?
Argentinians are 50% Italian immigrants. My grandparents are Italian. The beef, when you cut it with your knife,
Yes.
tastes better than when you ground it. Two reasons. First, when you ground everything together,
Yes, yes.
and can be any piece of beef. When you cut it with your knife in small parts, you actually maintain the consistency of the beef and the flavor.
I'm excited. Obviously, I've never tried this before.
Yes.
Now, what are the ingredients that you need for this dish?
Very simple. You need pasta, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have onions, garlic, parsley,
Uh-huh.
and then we have the cheese that goes at the end, and of course the beef and the tomatoes. When I choose ingredients, I will go for the least processed. The less steps between the farm and your plate, the better.
Nice. That's a good reminder for us all. I think we've managed to parang through the years live a life na parang very easy ko ano yung
Yes.
parang it's in a can or it's bottled and stuff.
Okay, so let's do step number one.
Okay.
Is to cut the beef. So what we're gonna use is the Bolzico beef striploin.
Striploin.
Basically, it's a pretty lean cut. It doesn't have much marbling. It has fat outside.
Uh-huh.
So allows you to decide how fat you want it. All the fat is grass-fed organic, so
Okay.
the fat is good.
Uh-huh.
It's up to you. So you get your knife, cut it in half first, and it depends how much you're gonna make, right? So this is the pasta is for two.
Okay.
Things, okay. So the whole thing is good enough.
Good for two,
Right?
yes.
So you'll see like you don't destroy the fiber of the beef. So the
Uh-huh.
beef stays the same.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, what happens is you taste the beef properly. And then you decide how big you want the chunks, right? So in my case, I like it a bit big.
Okay.
Because I like to taste the beef.
Have
will
you
taste
cooked
it.
this in your home here for your family here
Yes,
for Solane?
I cook it for Solane. Tilan just started eating beef. I haven't cooked it for Tilan yet,
Yes.
but I will.
So would you say that this is your go-to recipe? Like if people were going to your house last minute, family members of course, would this be one of the things you will serve?
Yes, because it's easy. You normally have pasta at home, and then it's something that you can explain people. And you know, when you invite people to eat, when you have a story to tell, they enjoy the food more, right?
That's true.
So now everything is ready. I did that
Yay!
manual process that I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
And now what we need to do is two things that we do simultaneously. You got this, turn it on.
Uh-huh.
I have it already boiled. And what you do is very simple. You put some salt, some olive oil. You know why?
So the pasta won't stick?
Exactly. And then the pasta.
There you go.
Now, Italian, you put the whole pasta. You
Oh.
don't break it. If you break
Yes.
the pasta and put it inside,
Oh my gosh.
any Italian would murder you. That's a sin. I think I think that's a crime. So you basically put your whole pasta there.
Anyway, eventually it's going to bend and the
Correct.
rest of the pot will accommodate the
that's
pasta.
what you do. You wait for it to bend.
Right. So Argentinians are big on kitchen and family meals.
Very similar to the Philippines in that sense. Very family oriented.
Yes.
Food is important.
Yes.
Very noisy.
Yeah.
Very messy. all that you see in the Philippines, you can see those in
It's
Argentina.
the same
And that's
thing.
why I feel like home here.
Exactly.
Okay, so to make the bolognese sauce,
Uh-huh.
very simple. You just put some olive oil, then you put the onions.
Do you also really prefer the red onions or white? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The reds, give some color, and again, use all the senses when it comes to food. But there is no right or wrong onion.
I think that's what I like about you when you cook. Parang it's up to us.
But that's about food. It's like I cannot tell you what's your favorite music, right?
That's true.
It's up to your taste. The food is the same.
Yeah.
You like this, there's people that like this, people like different things. You don't want the onions to be too cooked.
Okay.
It's just to start it. I'm gonna do this to
Ba, ba,
make it
ba.
cool. Wow, this to be
That's
cool.
great for TV.
Yes, exactly. There's absolutely no use for that. And then what you do is you add the garlic.
Yes.
That thank God for production they cut it because my hand would smell like garlic.
Oh yes.
So then you add the garlic there, and then you go like that. Mix.
Saute.
Then I got. Actually, this makes a bit of sense because I'm mixing it. Erwan would be proud.
Who taught you how to do that?
Erwan.
So he's patient with you.
No,
He's
not at all. Not at all. But you learn.
But you still learned, see?
You learn. Then you add your beef,
Oh my goodness.
and then you start cooking it. Again, this is a different bolognese. You will see
Yes,
a big
it
chunk
is.
of beef in your bolognese.
It is.
Feel a bit more.
There you go. That is so impressive when somebody can do that.
Yeah.
I've tried in the kitchen several times, but to no avail, unfortunately.
You don't know how many kitchen floor I have to clean, and how many times Erwan kicked me out of his kitchen. Okay, now what you do is you add the tomatoes.
You don't need to cook the tomatoes for very long.
No, the tomato goes last.
Ah.
So you will see, normally the Bolognese is very soft. It's usually not that much liquid because we use full tomatoes. I mean, real tomatoes,
Yes.
no tomato paste.
Yes. So of all the dishes from Argentina, this is the one you wanted to bring here in the Philippines. You've never tried this dish here, cooked by anyone else? Like at a restaurant? You
Not
don't
yet.
have it?
No.
Oh,
No.
How lucky here on Solane
So,
Kitchen Moments. We get
yes.
to try this for the first time.
Yes, and then for sure, a lot of people will start doing it, for sure. You know the fat that we added?
Right.
It's melting now, so it's for the taste. All right, so here's where our pasta goes. Boom.
Timing is key.
Yes.
So the last time you were here, the steak, the timing is key. Here is the same thing.
Exactly. Okay, the problem when you do this,
Ah.
plating becomes very difficult.
Okay.
Because
yes.
when you plate the pasta first and then the thing.
Ah.
But I think plating is secondary. I think
Yes,
it's
to
better
the taste.
and all that is the
Bravo.
most
Yes,
important.
agreed.
right?
Looks
Okay,
great.
this is already done.
Done.
And now what we can do is add a bit of pasta.
It looks perfect already.
All right?
Right? It's beautiful. So I guess we have to eat it right away.
Yes.
Okay, but before we try this dish, of course, we wanted to ask you about your prized possession from your 10-year stay here in the Philippines. What is something that is so important to you that represents that?
So I couldn't bring her,
Oh,
but I brought this picture that we
when
took
was this?
10 years ago in Argentina. Solane was not the reason why I came to the Philippines, but was the reason why I stayed in the Philippines. This was our first trip to Argentina. The two of us, the forces were riding
Oh my
horses.
goodness.
And we were so young and free
And,
and no baby.
I know.
And so much hours to sleep.
And no dog and cat.
And no dog,
Oh
no
my
cat,
God.
no tortoise.
But how wonderful going back to that time.
Yes. So
Oh,
this is my
reason for staying. The
reason for staying. My dad always said, you went so far from home that if you go farther, you get closer. It's like if Argentina is
More
here,
than
the
half.
Philippines is here. Like
Uh-huh.
wherever you move, you get closer to Argentina. The romanticism of the saying
Is there.
So we give it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I hope we can have Solane here someday. She's an excellent cook as well.
She is an amazing cook. Plus, her name is Solane.
And you know,
Right? And you know,
Solane. Solane. I think you have to make this baon kasi you might not get a meal
Yes.
when you get home tonight.
but wait. You do it like this, eh? Okay, you serve however you want, but make sure you put some cheese.
Oh,
Don't forget the
yes.
cheese. Make sure you get a piece of beef, eh? When you try
I
it.
will.
Have to be a piece of everything. And put your and maybe salt. I didn't put too much salt, remember?
Alright.
You can add whatever you want, except for pineapple.
Noted
Or
with
ketchup.
thanks.
And no ketchup.
No ketchup.
So
Oh my
get a
God,
bite
sorry.
of everything.
I have it. I have some tomato. I have some beef.
Yes.
I have some cheese.
It's very homey, eh?
It is. The tomatoes, you know that they're fresh tomatoes, etc., etc. I like also that we added the salt in the end.
Mm.
I'm getting a little bit of the grains of the salt.
Mm.
Beautiful. Nicely done. So that's it, you guys. If you want to try the Bolognese Bolzico, screen grab nyo na to ang ating recipe page para masubukan nyo naman itong gawin sa inyong mga tahanan. And of course, at this point, we want to thank our special guest, Nico. Thank you so much for being such a pleasure, being so easy to work with, and so graceful.
Thank you so much for inviting me to a second episode. Means I did very well.
In the first episode, that's right. Nakabalik kayo.
That reassures my cooking skills. Thank you so much.
And more to come, who knows?
Yeah.
We'd be glad to have you. Now, for those of you who are not even following you just yet, do you have any social media accounts that they can follow?
Yes, to follow me is at Nico Bolzico. If you want to follow the beef, it's at Bolzico Beef. Or at Chingolo Deli for the recipes with beef.
Nice.
That's our daily.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nico.
And follow my wife at Solane.
Of course.
Very important.
Hi, Sos. Hi, Solane. Thank you so much for joining us today and hope to see you again soon.
Thank
Love
you so
to
much,
the family.
So much. Thank you so much.
Salamat. And of course, thank you so much guys for watching us dito po sa show kung saan mas sumasarap ang kwentuhan with every dish na pinagsasaluhan. Ito po ang ating Solane Kitchen Moments. Please do follow us on Facebook and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you and see you guys again next time.
Bye.
Woohoo!